Hello, hello, guys. It's if you missed me, it's the one and only Grim Reaper Absol Dark X 61. Yeah. Sorry that I haven't uploaded a scary story for a few days, like for 6 days. Well, it's most it's mostly because of school. Yeah, I yeah you know how we get okay that we sometimes get so busy that we all I'm saying that what I'm trying to say is that I'm focused of about trying to get my work done and my homework complete. Yeah, that's just what I'm mostly focused, and just so that to the point that I don't have any time to to record this video. But don't worry, I am now back with the I am now back with a scary story for the Grim Nations. and here's one true scary story about lost dog. and and first off, this looks scary. This looks scary. Like who's this dog? Who's who's it looking at? Is it this just looks like looks creepy, like as if that this picture of the dog is like staring directly at me. But yeah, here's the description. This basically says about a girl who finds a stray dog a few days before Halloween. When she takes the dog for a walk in the woods, she meets three girls who are on a camping trip. A few days before Halloween. Hey, guess what? We're almost at the end of September, so yeah, we're only like a day left until October, and you know what that means? That's the month of Halloween. I'm pretty sure that Halloween is mostly everyone's favorite holiday. Maybe most favorite day, but. But with all that to the side, I really don't have anything to say before I read. But yeah, let's just read this supposedly true story about a lost dog. So here we go, guys. So here we go. This is Lost Dog. Enjoy. Let's get it, Grim Nations. You know how on Halloween night people always gather around the campfire and tell scary stories about strange things lurking in the woods and nobody believes them. Well, sometimes those stories are true. Last year, just before, and hey, it's yeah, and this one's supposedly true. The story. Well, let's see. How can this story can be true? Last year, just before Halloween, I was at home watching TV when I heard a knock on the front door. When I went to answer it, I found a dog standing on the front porch. I looked around, but I couldn't see the owner anywhere. The dog seems to be lost. I wasn't sure what breed he was, but he looked like a Siberian husky. His tongue was hanging out, and he was panting like he was thirsty. So I put out a bowl of water for him. The dog lapped it greedily. Ever since I was a little girl, I had always wanted to pet. I always wanted to. I I always wanted pet. I always wanted a pet dog, but my parents would never allow me to have one. Bummer. I didn't I didn't want to bring him inside the house, so I put him in the backyard. I gave him some leftovers to eat, but he just soon turned up his nose at them and refused to touch anything. That eve that evening when my parents came home, I told them about the lost dog. At first they told me I wouldn't have to get rid of it, but after much begging and pleading, they told me I could keep it. However, they didn't want it inside the house. My mother was allergic to dogs. Well, that could be one. That could be one reasonable explanation for parents never allowing their children to have a pet. Maybe because one of them, or two, because maybe one of them or two, like mom or dad or both, are allergic to any pets like cats or dogs. I don't know. I I really I really don't have a dog currently. The dog slept in the garden shed. In the middle of the night, I woke up and looked out my bedroom window. I could see the dog's glowing eyes in the darkness. It seemed like he was just standing there, staring up at me. It gave me a very eerie feeling. The next the next day was Halloween. In the morning, I went to the store and bought a can of dog food. When I got home, I opened it and put it into a bowl. Sorry. Sorry, guys. The dog, the dog looked very hungry, but he never eat. But he refused to eat the dog food. I couldn't understand what was wrong with him. That evening, little kids were running up and down the street, dressed in their Halloween costumes. I kind of made me wish I wasn't too old for trick or treating. Okay, a little disclaimer. So we know that Halloween is coming. Yeah, we're only like a month away from that. But I want you to let me know. I want you to tell me in the comments on who you want to be. Like, what do you want to dress up for this occasion? For this, for this occasion, for Halloween. Let me know in the comments. After a while, we came across. I decided to take the dog for a walk in the forest behind our house. After a while, we came across a group of three teenage girls who were camping in the forest. They were planning to have a Halloween party in the woods, and they had brought some food and drinks with them. The girls were around the same age as me, so we chatted for a while. They asked me if I'd like to join them. One of the girls tried to pet the dog, but he just growled at her. He didn't seem to like being anyone. He doesn't seem to like being anyone to touch him. Okay. They were having trouble pitching their tent, so I decided to help them. Between the four of us, we managed to set up the tent. I, looked around and realized my dog was nowhere to be seen. I asked the girls to help me look for him. By now it was dark and the stars were out. The moon was pale and full, and the wind was whistling through the trees. We decided to split up into two groups. The first two girls went out together, and I paired up with the third girl. We spent a long time looking for my dog, but there was no sign of it. Eventually, we gave up and started back towards the tent. Suddenly, we heard shouts and high-pitched screams echoing through the trees. We ran all the way back to the tent, and when we got there, we found the other two girls lying in a pool of blood. Oh my god. Holy shit. They were they were terribly injured. One of the girls was unconscious and the other was barely clinging to life. I asked her what happened and she managed to choke out a few words. She grabbed my arm and stared at me, her eyes wide with fear. She said that they said they had been attacked by some sort of monstrous creature that had emerged from the woods. I tried to ask her more questions, but her grip on my arm slowly relaxed and she died. Well, that already. The third girl burst into tears, and couldn't stop trembling. We looked at each other in disbelief. Neither of us knew what to do. We were terrified, but we didn't want to leave the dead girls lying out there in the grass. We decided to carry them into the tent to protect them from being eaten by wild animals. As we crouched inside the tent, desperately trying to think of what to do, we suddenly heard strange noises outside. For a minute, I didn't know if the sounds were real or if it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. It sounded like a dog yelping in pain. I was worried that it was my dog and he might be injured. Working on my courage, I decided to go outside to see where the noises were coming from. The girl didn't want me to leave her alone, but I assured her I would be right back. Cautiously, I slipped out of the tent and searched the clearing. I crept up to the tree line and peered into the forest, but I couldn't see anything. The night was still and eerily silent. All I could hear was the soft whistling of the wind. When I got back to the tent, I was horrified to find it completely destroyed. Inside, the girl lay dead. Her body had been ripped apart and partially devoured. I could picture in my mind of this sentence. Of that sentence. A wave of fear washed over me and felt weak at the knees. Afraid to stay out in the forest a moment longer, I took off running through the trees and I didn't stop until I got to the safety of my house. You know, just give me a clue, because that picture of a dog staring at the screen. Yes, staring directly at me. In the rear view mirror. No, in that mirror. Yeah, in the car, inside the car. I bet it's the dog. I bet it's the dog that killed the girls and ripped apart the tree. Destroyed the tent. Not the tree, the tent. Yeah, that the dog must have killed the girls and destroyed the tent. My parents asked me what was wrong, and when I told them the horrible story, they called the police. Soon there were flashing lights in our driveway, and two police officers were questioning me about what had happened. They went out into the woods and found the dead bodies of the three girls lying in the tent. They didn't find the dog. They didn't find my dog anywhere. The policemen said they must have been attacked by wild animals and told me I was lucky to be alive. They said my dog had probably been eaten by the wild animals as well. The next morning, I was out in the backyard when I got the strangest feeling that I was being watched. I feel like we're being watched. When I looked up, I saw my dog standing in the forest edge. He was just standing there, staring at me. Then he did something that terrified me. He stood up on his hind legs, turned around, and walked back into the forest. I never saw him. I never saw him again. The lost dog is still out in those woods. Now and then somebody spots him lurking in the trees. Whenever there is a full moon, I go around our house, making sure all the doors and windows are securely locked. Then I lie in bed and pray for morning to arrive. Okay, so that's the end. Okay, so since okay, the lost dog stood standing up on his hind legs. Her dog. Yeah, yeah. I could bet. I could bet. Hands down, I bet that. I bet the dog was. I bet the dog was the one that killed the girls and destroyed the tent. Yeah, it must be this girl's dog. But alright guys, so that was Lost Dog. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and well, let's see. Maybe I'll try to come back with another video. But just to remind you all that I'll be so busy with that, I'll most likely will no, yeah. Just a little disclaimer that I'll barely make any videos for the Grim Nations. I just want you to be patient. Just, just take your time. Like, yeah. All I'm saying, yeah, that's all I have to say. But see you later, Grim Nations.